I think that you and I can change the world, and I think that we're going to do that one heartbeat at a time. I'm going to walk through a couple of things that will prove this to you, and I hope it's a good conversation as well, and an interesting talk. So thanks for coming out as well, and thanks to everybody for getting us here on stage. My journey, let's test this. My journey started out when I was roughly 12 or 13. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. They were sat across from me in the sitting room at home in Navan, and they told me that they were suicidal, that they wanted to end their life. And I had no answers. I had nothing I could say to them. All I had were two things: questions and being present. And so it was ingrained in my mind that those two things can save lives, but questions and being present can also offer hope and can offer possibility. And there again, two things that I want to try and leave you with. Let me test this. Yes. So I remember those tears on the floor. They ingrained that in my mind. So I set off on roughly a 22 year journey of developing as a coach. I coached leaders and executives across the world in global corporate companies. I was flown around delivering leadership programs, and I was working one-to-one with people, but I knew that there was something deeper to the work, and I got braver as I also kind of wanted to go deeper into some of the people that I was getting to work with. So it was an honor to be having these conversations with people. These are really influential people, and I always felt insignificant in front of these people having this conversation. It was such an honor. And I, again, would say in having this conversation, it is an honor. I do not take this stuff lightly. So I lived in this world of concepts, of mindset. Everybody says to me, oh, what do you do? Oh, you're a mindset coach. It's easy to comprehend that. And it's taken me a long time to go a little bit deeper and further away from this. But I lived in that corporate world. I lived in this identity of suit on, tie on identity, separate to who I was, separate to who I wanted to be. So I was hiding who I was for a long time. But in my work, sorry for looking around, I went a little bit deeper. So I know that if we want to change the world, more or less, that's the results that we want. More or less, we have to change our behaviors. If we want to change behaviors, what influences that is our thinking. Again, this is where the mindset coaching comes in. It's unbelievably important that your mindset is in the right place to be able to, let's even stand up here. Right? If I'm thinking thoughts like Niraj's mustache is better than mine, it's going to play on my mind, right? So I have to be able to control that mindset, but that wasn't all. And I did this for years, chasing mindset stuff, right? But then it goes deeper, and it gets into feelings, and feelings is fluffy. Again, we talked about this, right? Feelings are these things that I've not built a map of or an understanding of, and this has been part of my journey. It's been going deeper into this for other people. So what does that make you feel? So imagine when you're in a corporate environment and you say to somebody who's in sales or whatever it is, like, what do you do? And, oh, okay, tell me how that makes you feel. They just laugh at you, because they're like, no, just tell me what I need to do so that I increase the results. Tell me what I need to change, the behaviors. But it's deeper than that again. So, yeah, just double checking I'm at the right level of this iceberg. It's touchy doing this in Belfast with icebergs, right? Or in Northern Ireland. I have to be careful where I do this, but I trust you guys. The emotion is actually, so feelings are the label. We give the emotional signal from our body. So the same emotion that's in my body right now can be labeled as the feeling, nerves, or excitement. So the meaning we give this signal from our bodies makes a massive difference into how it comes across. But there's deeper than that again. So what influences your physiology? So physiology influences right up the chain, it's the other way around. Your physiology, more or less, we can make it really basic. It's the difference between sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic. Sympathetic is survival. In survival state, you need to recover. Your body will narrow. You will go into yourself. You will think more selfishly and short term. If we're to change the world, we cannot live in that system, on that nervous system. Parasympathetic, on the other hand, will help you be able to think literally longer term and more altruistically. So if I can move you into a different nervous system, I can change the emotional signal that you are getting from your body. I can change the range of feelings that you experience. I can change the thoughts then because of that signal is clearer, it's better. That's going to change your behavior, and it's going to change the results that you get. So right up this chain, I was learning and growing into this. I qualified as a personal trainer. Somebody said to me the other day, what do you do in the gym? Go to the sauna and steam room? I'm like, thanks for that. No, I try to lift weights. But this was really cool to be able to bring this to people and say this stuff. But actually, this was a map of what I needed to do for myself. It was a journey into like deepening my understanding of my body. I'd been distracted in this world of mindset, conceptual world, identity built around work, and I'd forgotten about what my heart wanted. Again, your physiology is determined by the state or the heart rate variability. So what your heart is actually doing. So this reconnection with my heart and my ability to be authentic and to show up literally opening my heart made the biggest difference in my life. It's not easy, it's hard, and I'm going to walk you through some of the things that might be helpful along the way. But it starts with making a decision. And I'm going to show you this as well, because I think sometimes we can think these things, but you can't feel them. Will you help me? Do you want to come up on stage? Yeah, come on ahead, we'll make this a bit of fun. This is the last one of the night. I do a tap routine, it's brilliant. Just hold that between your hands. Okay. And just try and spread them like this. So imagine, tell me your name again.
Louise.
Louise's left hand is me being authentic. This is me being corporate, that identity. Okay, just try and pull apart as much as you can. So just watch, hold it there, it's fine. So this is a normal resistance band, but watch what's happening, right? This resistance will get painful. We can distract ourselves from this. The distance between these two things is the distance between here for me. So you can come back together. It always wants to return to normal. Thank you for being a great assistant. I'm glad you were there in the front row. So this taught me so much because I was experiencing that tension and I wasn't sure what best to do about it. So again, I'm going to show you a couple of things that hopefully are helpful. You might be experiencing that like tension in you. The world wants you to be a certain way, and you're different than that. And this is a stage in development. It is expected. It's called moving from socialized to self-authored. You move from taking who you are from the group and work that you spend time with, and you choose and you author who you are instead. There's other stages, but that stage is where I was. And I made that transition because the pain of not being myself was too great. I was grieving the person that I could have been. And hopefully that's not true for you. But again, it brought me back to my heart. So again, I pay a lot of attention to the heart. If you want to look into it, Michael A. Singer writes an amazing book, The Untethered Soul. And literally the way to open your heart is not to close. We close our hearts often. We're afraid of judgment, comparison, all this kind of stuff. That closes us off to who we are and closes other people to seeing who we are. That's not good enough if we're going to save the world, right? So the word for courage comes from the French word cœur, or heart. So again, committing to any journey like this means showing courage, showing heart to whatever that path is in front of you. So when you make the decision literally means to cut off any alternative. So I've worked on that corporate side for 8 years, since 2014, some business roles before that. Literally, I quit my job. I quit that corporate, pensionable, safe job, and I'm now moving out to be able to do some of this work on my own. And it takes, I don't want to say I'm courageous, but it takes courage, it takes heart. And when you open your heart, you're not just taking in good. You're taking in the negative as well sometimes. And people won't tell you that. It's easy to, I'm not going to tell you that committing to yourself, being authentic is going to be easy. When you open, it's inviting both good and bad in. You have to be prepared for that. We have Instagram good that we expect. We beat ourselves up when life doesn't match that. So be prepared to open by not closing, knowing this. That was a dark screen, the one before. And more or less when you commit on any journey like this as well, it's going to feel dark. But if you run in the direction of your heart, it knows the way. So you must lean into your heart. Your body will tell you where to go. You just have to trust it. The other thing people don't tell you along this journey sometimes is that it's really lonely. When you outgrow who you were, who you surrounded yourself with, who you used to spend time with, who they thought you were, and you change, it's really lonely. But what's out of perspective in this, and again, this is why widening your perspective, by coming to things like this tonight, to the left of the bird on its own, there's another flock of birds. So it takes just meeting the tribe, but choosing to know that you're going to be alone, and we keep moving forward. So this again is that move from socialized to self-author, just the opposite way around. Really important stage. Please make that commitment to yourself. You probably know a decision that you need to make. Commit to yourself. It's worth it. Oh, I pointed this way. The other thing is, it can feel really lonely, but that's because you're closing to help from other people. You gotta laugh at this, I have a therapist, 2 coaches, a mentor, and I have a supervisor for my coaching. I take this work really seriously, but it's really hard. But you may feel like this terrain or path ahead of you is the first time because it's new to you. But just because it's new to you doesn't mean that it's new to other people. Lean on other people. They have things in their backpack that will absolutely help you on your journey. So trust in that, but also open to that. There are people that you probably know. There are people that want to help you. There are people that want to see you succeed. If they don't, they need to be let go of. Open to your future and the things that you can do, because we need people doing that. So this is a picture taken, I think it's the first picture of Earth taken from space. It's called a marble. I think this is beautiful. But the problems that we have ahead of us are huge. We have many complex, they're called wicked problems. They're interconnected, they can't be solved with one solution. They're really complex. And if I can't influence leaders like the people that are here to focus on physiology, improve the emotions that you feel, the thinking and the mindset around the behaviors and then the results, we literally will, we won't be in a good place. And I really believe that we can be. We just need to think a little bit differently about it. So I also know that this can be overwhelming. When you see the world, it's like, oh, how am I ever going to impact that? But Anita Roddick, the Body Shop CEO, said that if you think you're too small to make an impact, try spending the night with a mosquito. Right? So I'm trying to help in 2 ways. So we're built to be around trees. Trees breathe out what we breathe in. We breathe in what trees breathe out, or the other way around as well also is true. We're built to be around trees, so everybody that I work with, I buy a tree in the Highlands of Scotland. And I've bought 52, I think it's 52 trees in the last 2 months. And by the time I die, hopefully it's given me enough time, I plan on planting 1 million trees. We need trees. It's going to offset some of the things that are absolutely changing our world for the worse. That's one way. The other way is I have, hopefully, useful conversations with leaders. We go a little bit deeper into themselves, but I'm not comfortable doing that because I know the terrain, because I'm walking it myself. So I would just leave with this. There's time left. I'm conscious of the bar, and there's music ready. You and I can change the world, but I absolutely, literally with conviction believe that you and I will change the world. The way that we do that is 1 heartbeat at a time. The way to stay open is never to close. Thanks very much.